Let's build a skyscraper, part 2, framework. Once again, I am your host and Voxel Box admin, Giltwist. If you recall from part 1 of this series, we're building a skyscraper. There's one extra picture you need to see that'll help you understand what I'm going to do in this video. As you can see here, I counted up the windows and realized that there's a double parking story at the bottom, 30 regular stories, and one kind of mini story as the top layer. There's also this little L-shaped thing, but we'll get more to that in the next couple of videos. For now, let's head into Mechanicsburg. I'm ready to roll. One other thing we need to make this an official construction site, I'm going to go over here and put down a bulldozer. Alright, now it's official. Okay, we're going to fly up a bit here and take a look down. Our plot is real nice and big. And as if you'll recall from the first video, we figured out that the plot should be roughly 50 meters by 80 meters. And in Minecraft, every block is 1 cubic meter. So 50 blocks by 80 blocks, that's easy. Bada bing, bada boom. So that's the rough shape of the build. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few moments here to set up that parking garage level. But remember, when we're dealing with two thick walls and floors, making double high stories is a little different. When people make a double tall story, they tend to forget that with two thick walls and floors, you end up with this middle bit. And so it's actually 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1 as the pattern for the number of blocks in terms of blocks, space, some more blocks, some more space, and then the final block. So even though the empty space on a normal story is only 3 tall, on a double tall story it needs to be 8 tall, because a single story including ceiling and floor is 5, therefore a double story including ceiling and floor needs to be 10. We happen to know that one side of this building is 30 meters long. We can use that, using some proportions and cross multiplications, yay math, to figure out some of these other dimensions that we'll use later on in this build. Alright, so based upon our calculations, we need to do a quarter of a circle that is a radius of 21 blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and set my sniper, and I'm going to use the true circle on the disc brush, no problem, and I've already figured out that the block I need to do is over here. Now that looks too big, but I'll cut away the extra parts of the circle. Alright, so we've got the basic layout of the normal sized story now. What I need to do next is get the staircases right, because if I don't get those right now, they'll never be right later on, and I'll have to readjust everything and it'll just be a mess. So I'm going to do that now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stack another level of this standard floor. So I'll have the double high staircase to do, and I'll have a regular height staircase to do, and it'll all line up real nicely, and then I can stack up the rest of the stories, and we'll have the basic setup of the build. Okay, those stairs took forever, but it's going to be totally worth it because I'm going to do a world edit stack here and put in the other 29 stories that will have 30 nice stories, the double story at the bottom. And then I'm going to build in a few more stories on the top because they're a little bit different if you recall from the picture. So here comes the stack. Stack 29 up. Alright, I've added the top layer, which is a little bit smaller than the rest of the building, and I've also added the little nub that's right at the edge of the curved side. That's the wireframe of this building. In our next video, we'll spend some time laying out a couple of floors and then developing the entire layout for the whole building bottom up. See you next time!